I was wrong, wasn't I? I really wish it was a Y-plan system. One of them. And the heating's not working. So if I remember correctly, well, I'm going to take this off, the case off anyway. I think this is the one with 3 pumps. One of them will be between the boiler and the unit. The other pump will be the central heating pump. And the third pump will be the hot water circulation pump. All right, let's get the cover off and see what's going on with this. And just like that, the first month of the year is gone. We're well into 2025 now. Another 11 months to go, and then we'll be in 2026. Now, the title of this video, don't take it so personally. That's coming off the back of, well, quite a few videos that I've done, but more recently, the Wiesmann 111 video. And what I fail to understand is why some people who watch my videos take my opinion and my comments so personally. It's as if they built the boiler. Like that Wiesmann video that I'd done, there was a lot of comments which were agreeing with what I was saying, but then some people just get really wound up and uptight about it. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. You know, you're a cowboy, a boiler slinger, you know, you're this, that, the other. You don't know what, that's why, you know, if you knew what you were doing. Okay, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. What I was highlighting in that video was the personal experiences and issues that I've had with Wiesmann's range of boilers. Literally every single one. It's not a case of I don't know what I'm doing. If they've got the wiring block wrong out of the box, or they've got cables disconnected from the PCB, or even the very first one, when they sent me, when I had to hang the boiler, I had the boiler on and off the wall 4 times because what they sent me was, I think they'd changed the flue elbow at some point, and there was meant to be some literature in the box to say, right, this is a different flue, or it's a new style flue, you need to allow for this much adjustment. There was no paperwork in there. So none of that constitutes to me not knowing what I'm doing. It's from the manufacturer. And again, just relax. Like, you don't own the company, you haven't built the boiler, it's not a personal attack on you, it's my opinion. It's my channel at the end of the day. I could just be making stuff up and saying stuff, and, you know, just to, you know, people just need to stop taking things so seriously. I love Baxies. I like the older style vaillant. I'm not a fan of the new remastered, but again, that's my opinion. But if someone says to me, and people have said on comments when I've done installation videos of Baxies, oh, you know, Baxies are rubbish boilers. Okay, good. That's what you think. I don't care. I'm still going to carry on fitting them because it's what I'm comfortable working with. So if you're getting so uptight and wound up just by a gob on a stick and a guy on YouTube, then maybe you need to take a step back and think of the bigger picture, because it's not all that big of a deal. What I'm trying to just basically get at is people just need to stop taking things so personally when we're talking about opinions of products. For example, I hate Teslas, I hate EVs, I hate electric cars, full stop. And that's because I'm a petrol head. I like, for me, I will not go to EV, I will not get an electric vehicle so long as I can help it. And even if it means I have to pay a higher road tax for petrol car or combustion engine, whatever, I will make it work because it's what I like. There's people out there who be like, let's just wait and see what comments I get off the back of me not wanting an EV and me loving combustion engines. My 350Z, when I turn that ignition on and I hear those 6 cylinders singing away, oh my days. If you're a petrol head, you will know when you hear that exhaust rumbling and burbling and gurgling away, that sound is music to my ears. I don't have the radio on. I don't have any music playing when I'm driving my 350Z. I just have the windows down, even if it's freezing cold, because the sound of that engine and the exhaust is, like I said, music to my ears. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments from EV owners or whatever. So let's just see what happens. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out too long. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so I'm here at the first job. I've been here a couple of times before. I think I recorded the last job that I've done here. Yeah, I replaced the expansion vessel. It was an Ideal Logic up in that really tight space next to the washing machine and everything. They messaged me yesterday saying that there's a leak coming from the boiler. I don't know if it's anything that I've done or if it's something else. So let's go in and have a look and see what it is. Yeah, this is the one, if you remember, quite tight in here. So everything's up and running at the moment. Customers said it's not leaked since they messaged me. But let's have a look. They did have an F1, so I'm going to have a look to see if there's something leaking inside to do with the system side or if it's anything else. Let's have a look. I've just got the case off and there's a little dribble of water just in that bottom right hand corner. And that is the side where the vessel is. So I'm hoping it's not anything to do with my workmanship. I mean, if it is, I've got to sort it, but let's have a look. Get the flap down. Oh, fair bit of water there. But where has that come from? Nothing's leaking on the vessel side from what I can see. Is it from the sump? Is it the condense? I think it's the condense. I can see that's a bit wet there. Look, yeah, I don't think, maybe the condense isn't siphoning out and then it's leaking out of here. Let's try and have a look here, because that is, yeah, I think it is the condense, because all the water is pooling here. It's not on that side. There's nothing leaking from the vessel. AAV is all fine as well. I reckon that is coming from the condense. It is, we've got a bit of dribble of water there as well. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up, see what's going on with the condense, and then probably clean the trap out, and hopefully it's as simple as that. So I'm just having a look inside in the sump to see if I can see anything dripping down from the main heat exchanger. That might indicate that the heat exchanger might be split, but it doesn't look like it. But what I have noticed, and you probably have noticed it as well, is that there is a small hairline crack on the sump. So that's going to need replacing. I haven't got one on me today, so I will have to come back and redo that. But I think for the time being, I'm just going to clean out the condense trap, because I can't see anything actively leaking at the moment. There's not really anything, and it looks like it is just a condense trap because of where the water's all pooling. So let me do that, and then we'll get the job booked in to get the sump replaced. So that sump job, I'm going to go back to next week to replace the sump basically. I couldn't see anything else leaking what was causing the F1 fault. I disconnected the PRV as well, and that was all fine. I thought maybe the PRV may have activated previously before I changed the expansion vessel and maybe didn't reseat, but no, that was bone dry. The heat exchanger is not split, it's not dripping when the boiler's not running, so I don't think it's that. With low pressure problems, it could literally be anything. And customers not said that there's any signs of leaks. But I've just got to this next one, which is a Vaillant Ecotech Pro 24, I believe. I've been to this one a couple of times before. I don't think I've ever filmed anything in here, but I'll see if the tenant's happy for me to film, and then let's go and see what it is. All right, here we have the Ecotech Pro, what was it? Pro 28. I was here September last year, changed the pressure sensor, AAV, and I recharged the vessel. But the tenants complained that there's leaks from the boiler and it's losing pressure, and yeah, we can see where it's coming from. Diverter valve, that's all leaked down there. You can see it's leaking from the usual place. So let's get all that out. I've got one on me, got authorization to get it done. We're going to change the plastic one to a brass one. Right, let's just crack on with it. Right, new one's ready. Just got to prep all the O-rings in a minute, but we are drained out. And let's start undoing everything. Got the electrical connections there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 screws there. Now this is the one where we've got to undo the connection from underneath here to be able to pop this pipe out and then get the clip out, pop the diverter valve out, have the new one ready, grease it all up, pop it back in, do all the connections, purge it, and then test it all. That's finally done up, and this is probably the most annoying part of doing the diverter valve on. I think it's only on the pros where you got to do it underneath, because on the pluses, depending on how many diverter valves you've done, there's usually a nut in here. Let me just straighten that up as well, because normally you can undo the nut. There's a connection comes up here, and just undo the nut there, and then you can take this pipe out. But this one, it's going underneath, and you've got to undo it from the back there. But yeah, diverter valve is all done. I'm just gonna straighten that up, and then we'll top up some pressure, test it for leaks, make sure that there aren't any leaks, and then we're sweet. Okay, we are all done. Back up to pressure, boiler's fired up for heating, nothing else is leaking, so job done. Let's go into the next one. Right, that one is done, and something which I will mention to you guys is, so sorry, my the thing was loose. I've kept the new screws that came with it. Reason being is because the screws that I took out of the existing diverter valve were in good nick, and if they're in good nick, I'll reuse them and I'll save these ones, because I don't know about you guys, but I've come across a few where the screws have been completely chewed up, and sometimes you just need to replace the washers. Sometimes it's leaking at the back, and it's not actually leaking from the diverter valve itself. So this will go in my boiler random drawer. So I've got the long screw there, the 3 short ones. So I've got like grommets, screws, bits and bobs that I've taken out of other boilers, which may get me out of trouble one day. Might just help someone out if you just remember that for next time. Cool. Okay, we are at another job that I've been to before. I'm basically doing, I do work for a property management company, and that's why some jobs I end up coming back to, because there's different issues. This one you might remember, I had to renew the condense pipe on the Worcester heat only. We had to cut out a section under the boiler to gain access to it. I'm back here today because the tenants said that they're having some sort of problem with the heating. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I couldn't quite understand what he was saying. Not because he doesn't speak English, but because he was basically saying it sometimes comes on, sometimes doesn't, or I think some of the radiators are working, some of them aren't. I'm not sure exactly. Because it's heat only, my suspicion is that there's an issue with the zone valve. Potentially might be on a Y-plan system. I haven't looked at the rest of the system. I've only ever worked on the boiler whenever I've been here. So let's go inside, let's have a look and see what the problem is. I was wrong, wasn't I? I really wish it was a Y-plan system. One of them. And the heating's not working. So if I remember correctly, well, I'm going to take this off, the case off anyway. I think this is the one with 3 pumps. One of them will be between the boiler and the unit. The other pump will be the central heating pump. And the third pump will be the hot water circulation pump. Alright, let's get the cover off and see what's going on with this. Okay, well that's a relief. It's the other style one where it's got the 3-port incorporated into it. Now, tenant's saying that hot water's working, but heating isn't. He's put it on from the programmer. He's put it up from the thermostat, but we've got nothing here. And that spindle underneath there is stiff, but look, that's actually getting stuck there. So I'm gonna whip the head off and see what's going on with this. So we've got a wiring center here. So I'm assuming this is gonna be wired up as a standard Y plan, but we will double check anyway. I'm gonna, you know what, this, if we put that on, yeah, see, so that's sending power to the, that's hot. So we know that's working. So the pump's working fine, which is good. Let's see what's going on with the 3-port. Right, I've just got the head off. But that is still not doing anything. That is pretty stiff. So let's try to free that up. Baby grips. Yeah, I think what I'm probably going to do, a bit of WD-40 on this spindle. Let it spin a few times and then change the synchro motor on there. Right, so I was just about to check the thermostat, but that is all broken as well. Luckily, van stock, just grabbed one from the van. We're just going to replace that mechanical thermostat and then we can retest what's going on with that 3-port. Right, that's the old thermostat. This is quite common. This just gets brittle, the plastic comes off of there. So you just got to replace it. So there's a new one. Now I'm going to turn that up and then I'm going to flick the power on and I want to see that motor over. Heating's come on there. What's going on with this? There we go. That's starting to motor over. That's doing that by itself. I'm literally just guiding it. You know, even better if we put it that way. You should actually be able to see it drop down. Pump's come on. It's giving it a signal. So that's good. So that means the synchro motor in there is working. I think maybe the old thermostat wasn't, because that was broken, it wasn't sending a proper signal. Now let's fit this back onto the body because that's now moving a lot more freer as well. So let's pop this back on and then make sure that it all works as it should. That's motoring over. Pumps come on. And now I want to see heat. Oh, that's already hot anyway. I am so glad it was just a thermostat. I mean, even if it was just a 3-port, as in the synchro motor, that wouldn't have been too bad, but I'm glad it wasn't the pump. Because on them boiler mates, that's not a fun job to do, especially if you've got to drain the whole thing down if the valves aren't holding. Okay, I have now got to go to another job around the corner from here to basically partially renew a condense run, which has been done not great. I'll show you when we get there. Right, here we have the next issue. So there's been, let me try and get this all the way down so you guys can see as well. So there's been a leak from the condense and you can see how the installer's done the condense. They've just pushed that hose into the hole. And if you pop that out, the condense pipe is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on the outside, see if I can push that through. I don't think that's long enough. So I'm probably going to cut it, renew another bit, get it through the wall, and then I can connect that hose onto it. Okay. Oh, it's that one. The window's open. I'm going to do that. Oh no, it's, yeah, no, it is the one with the window open, but it's that black one. So I need to see. Oh, okay, I need to see what I've got in the van. It is Aquaflow fittings, I can see. I need to try. I'm gonna have to basically cut the 1.25 inches. It is 1.25 inches, isn't it? Yeah. I need to cut some of the 1.25 inches pipe and bring it back in with a reducer and a longer bit of pipe. I don't know why that installer's done it that way. Left the holes inside the wall, but alright, let me just see what I've got in the van and what I can do with it. Right, after seeing that outside, I'm going to try something different, which might actually make my life a little bit easier. What I'm actually going to try to do is, let me get the light set up. I'm going to glue this socket on the end of this pipe, glue that end, and hopefully I can push it onto that condense pipe that's in the wall. Because if it was just overflow pipe coming out the wall there, then it would have been easier for me to cut it, redo it. But where it's going into a reducer, it's going to be very tight, and then I have to start messing around with 1.5 or 1.25 fittings or whatever. I'm hoping that this method will work. I mean, if it doesn't work, then I'll have to do that way anyway, then I'll have to cut it all out regardless. But if this works, happy days. So let's give it a try. Do you know what? I think that's worked, and I think I've gotten very lucky the fact that that was aquaflow pipe, because if you know you work on condense fittings or waste fittings, you know that different brands are very marginally different, so they don't always go on. I was very lucky because I use aquaflow for my waste stuff, and this was aquaflow. So this is what I've done, and now that, that's, if I twist that, when I was pulling it, I thought that's coming out the socket, but it's not. It's basically where there's a little bit of play on the wall, on the outside wall. It's pulling back and forth, but if I twist that, that's not turning. So that's glued on. So now what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to figure yeah, the price of being tall. I'm going to see what's the best way for me to cut that. I might need to get some more fittings to maybe do it in a way so I can get the condense to go on, but let's see. Look, it's not going to win any awards, but at least that's not inside the wall anymore. And before, people like to mention that, yes, I know it should be either 1.25, 1.5, whatever, but there's no space to do it there, and it's quite low down, and I'm not here to do that. I'm here to just stop that leak in the wall, which I have done. Now let's go on to the next one. You know, you get that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that you may not have put the part in the van that you needed for today. I really hope that's not the case for me. Oh no, I have it in here. The reason I'm panicking is because where my van's been in for a service the last 2 days, I've been driving around in the car just getting bits together, and to be honest, I'm not even going to bother recording this job, because all I've literally got to do is replace one of these immersion thermostats. I've been here before. The immersion itself is fine. I've done my resistance checks on it. I'm getting 20 ohms between live and neutral. I've got open line between live and earth, but basically the thermostat keeps tripping out every so often, so I'm going to replace the thermostat, and that's it. And hopefully that, my tool bag would help, wouldn't it? Right, let me get everything out. I'm gonna go and do this, and then yeah, that's it, and then I'm done for the day.